Hello guys, Coach Karen Mays, a lady on the journey, coming on to just share my thought with you today. Usually these are very just spur of the moment, something that came out of a conversation I had with somebody or something I read recently. And I wanted to share with you something that I've noticed in my own life, and I see it in people around me as well. And it is the push and pull between tactics and trajectory. And so what I mean by that is usually when we identify an area of our lives that we want to change, we're really, this time of year is a big time of year for that. I want to change in this area of my life. And so you get all about the tactics. You get on the Google and you start looking up, how can I change this part of my life? What can I do? What's going to give me success? How am I going to see change? And that might be with your eating, with your weight, with your money. It could be with maybe your sleep habits. It could be a whole host of things. It could be with time management. That's been a big area of focus for me in the last year or so. What's the right tool? What's going to get me where I want to go? Tactics. And tactics are important, don't get me wrong. But what can happen if you're not careful, and I've done this myself, is you get busy checking off boxes. Yep, got that. And you're all about the tactics and you're focusing on the tactics. And then you look up and you haven't gotten anywhere really. Or not where you thought you would be, because maybe your tactics are they're just treating one little part. They're just doing one little thing. Or they get to be really tiresome and really hard because you forgot. You forgot about trajectory. You forgot about the big picture. So I will stay in my lane here and talk about people who want to lose weight. So a lot of times people are like, okay, got to find the right way of eating for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to focus on this. And that's fine. But if they haven't set through the trajectory and focused on health, because let me tell you, from someone who's been there, the diet mindset where you just do something for a short period of time and you focus on checking off those boxes for a short period of time, and then you get tired or what you're doing is too extreme and you can't stick with it or whatever, you can't, because you haven't set the trajectory. You haven't zoomed out to focus on your health and what is it that you're doing. Are you losing weight to look better? Are you losing weight for an event that you have coming up? Are you losing weight? Why is it important to you? In my experience, I'll just tell you, those two things I just mentioned are not sustainable. They might get you to a certain place, but you may not stick the landing if you, in the meantime, you don't connect with why it's really important to you to change this. Because anything you do for a short period of time is going to have short-term results. There's no healthy meal healthy enough that means you can ignore what you eat from now on. And that was a big step for me, was letting go of the idea that I could set it and forget. I could get somewhere and then I can relax now. What I had to learn was it gets easier because I get better at it. Not because it changes. I change. And so you got to set the trajectory. And so in the case that I'm talking about with myself and people that I work with, it's focusing the trajectory on better health and not checking off a certain boxes about, just I'm going to get my steps in. And, all of those things, the tactics are important. Don't get me wrong. Moving your body, eating right, fueling your body instead of using food to cope with whatever's going on in your life. All of these are important, and you need tactics and support, I think, to get there. But ultimately, you got to connect with the trajectory, the creating of a healthier lifestyle, of a healthier way of thinking, of a healthier mindset about what it is that you're doing, or ultimately it's going to start to feel tiresome and like a lot of work, and you may not want to do it if you haven't connected with why it's important. And also, connecting with the trajectory allows you to work on multiple areas. So if my goal is to get healthier, well, then I can focus on my eating, on my movement, and on my habits of healthy thinking. I can work on all of those areas and see progress in all of those areas, and they're going to have an effect all the way around, because no one aspect of my life exists in a vacuum. You know, we're, each of us is a whole person, and in all these different areas of our lives affect each other. So focusing on the trajectory allows me to sort of have a multi-front war, although I don't really like the war analogy, but it's apt here. You're working on different fronts in order to bring the whole battlefield to a new place. Conquering new territory. Now that I like. You're conquering new territory in the journey of life, of health, of whatever it is for you. And so by having these improvements in multiple areas of your life that all affect one thing, you know, your activity, your weight, your eating habits, because you can lose weight and not eat well. Just ask someone who has a tragedy and doesn't eat for a long period of time. You can lose weight, but it may not be healthy. So by focusing on multiple areas of your life and elevating the healthiness of those different areas of your life, you can elevate your entire life. And that's a lot more rewarding and more sustainable, more fun. And for me, it allows me to, when one area is feeling a little, you know, I don't feel like thinking about that area so much right now. I'm feeling a little restless. Well, I'm going to focus my attention on this other area that's going to move me forward in the same vein. So you got to have both. You got to have tactics and trajectory. First, you decide the trajectory, and then you find the right tactics for you. And those tactics, those habits, are really what are going to help you realize your goals. And I want to hear more about that. Somebody's knocking on my door. I gotta go. Have a great day, everyone.